Mark Levin is quoted as saying on Twitter that Europeans have anti-Semitism in their DNA. Josh Hammer said the same thing. Mark Levin said that too. This is a segment from Mark Levin's interview with the Jewish News Syndicate at the Republican Jewish Coalition. What else would you call this? And by the way, he gave away the game. Kevin Roberts in his statement and Ben Shapiro in his statement, which we'll talk about in a moment, they read me the riot act by going through all these different things I've said on my show over the past 10 years. Jokes, things taken out of context, different clips. They say it's about that. It's not about that. Mark Levin gave away the whole game. This is about Israel. This is about the West Bank and Gaza. This is about the war in the Middle East. This is about decapitation in Iran, in Syria. This is about the U.S. defending and supporting this, providing them with foreign aid and missiles and giving them cover at the UN and bribing their enemies and people criticizing them. That's what this is about. That's what Mark Levin said. I'll read it again because maybe it's not clocking to you. And he said this in his furious Jewish voice. He said, we're going to take names. We're going to see who's associated with who platforms who supports who. We're going to make our decisions. I've heard this phrase, we don't deplatform people. We sure as hell do. We don't have a discussion. You're the enemy. He says, you're the enemy. How many more times do we have to hear about pressuring Israel to get a ceasefire? And think about how this question is phrased. How many times do we have to hear about this? He says, like it's an inconvenience. How dare you? How dare you talk about it? How dare you ask the question? He says, how many times do we have to hear that Judea and Samaria are off the table? He says, it's not off the table unless we say it's off the table. Excuse me? You forget what fucking country you think you represent? Did you forget that for 1 second? In between these totally transparently fake appeals to American history, did you forget for 1 second who you're pretending to represent? It's not off the table unless we say it's off the table. Who's we? The Republican Jewish Coalition? And who the fuck are you to say that?
Exactly, Mark Levin. And seriously, this guy, I'm getting so annoyed by this man. Mark Levin is literally, he is like the biggest threat to the United States almost. This guy is constantly cosplaying like he is one of us, like he is a good guy, he is a good American. Meanwhile, he is loyal to another country. And believe me, it's not only Mark Levin, also Ben Shapiro, and Nick Fuentes will also roast Ben Shapiro in a bit. Like, don't worry about that. But these people, they are completely destroying our country. They think that they can tell the average Americans what we should do, like even how much tax we should pay to give it to the country where they are loyal to. And this actually has to stop. Some of these people, they have like a big following. Why? I have no idea. But some people are actually listening to Mark Levin, and he is actually cosplaying like he is America first. He is good for this country. Meanwhile, he is not here for the United States. He is literally loyal to another country, and then he's telling the people in this country what we should do. Get out of here, Mark Levin. I'm so done with this guy.
And we're the bad, right? We're in the wrong here. He goes on, how many more times do we have to listen to members of Congress talk about genocide in Gaza? How many times do we have to hear about members of Congress going on and on about the Israel lobby? You have to hear, we have to hear about this. Who's we? The Republican Jewish Coalition? You think you're entitled? You think you're beyond reproach, beyond criticism? Is that it? It's not off the table unless we say it's off the table. We don't have discussions. You're the enemy. We cancel you. They're calling me. What are we going to do about so-and-so? We're taking names. We'll make our decisions. They gave the whole game away. This is what people hate. This is what people hate about this country. And by the way, we don't hate all Jewish people. We don't hate anybody. We hate that our country is being held hostage by this transnational gang. What the is this? What is this speech? Who do you think you are? How do you think this is being received? What audience are you talking to?
Exactly, spot on. And I will interrupt it quick fast because believe me, this is gonna be a very interesting video. But I actually believe that like a Mark Levin and again a Josh Hammer, a Ben Shapiro, that they think that they are better than us. I actually believe this, and I hope I'm wrong on this. But the attitude some of these people have, it's actually like shocking. It's so shocking the way how they talk towards us, the way how they act towards us. This is United States, bro. This is America first. We're not loyal to another country. We are loyal to the United States. Understand that, my friend.
When you say these things, when you say it's not off the table unless we say it's off the table, we don't want to hear about the Israel lobby. Who do you think is saying these things? It's Americans. These are Americans that have these concerns, and these are valid concerns. This is our money. We're paying for this. Think about it. What's happening, the genocide in Gaza is real. We're paying for it. It's our money. The reason we're doing it is because of AIPAC. Congress will not go against it because they're being lobbied to. They're being bribed. And you say, we don't want to hear about it. We'll make our own decisions. Your decisions with our money? Your decisions with our military, your decisions with our politicians, your decisions with our soldiers? Where do you get off? Who do you think you are? And this is why, by the way, Mark Levin is sort of right, in a sense. When he says this is not about free speech, he's right. When he says this is not about whatever else, he says it's not even purely about Israel, he's right. It is about and it is about Judaism. This is about supremacy. This is about that whole attitude. This is what we're talking about, that Shapiro and Levin and Josh Hammer, that they all have, which is that their shit doesn't stink. It's the arrogance, it's the smugness, it's the entitlement. This is what we hate. It's that attitude. This complex. We are God's chosen. When one Jew in Israel dies, it's like 1,000 Americans dying. A Jew in Israel died, we're going to kill every Palestinian. And you better give us money or else. And you think what the West Bank is off the table? We'll tell you when it's off the table, and we don't want to hear about it anymore. We're sick of hearing about it from the people that are voting for it, paying for it, fighting for it, dying for it. Where do you get off? Who do you think you are exactly? Oh, well, they say it in their religion. It is in their religion. They think that God gave them the land. They think that they have souls and that we don't. They matter and we don't. Israel matters and our country doesn't. Israel is a blood and soil nation. Don't you understand that? When they call us Nazis, they tell on themselves. What is a Nazi? Well, what is that? Blood and soil nationalism? It's our genetics, our, Aryan DNA, our land, whatever. That's what they have going on in Israel. The Jews were promised this land. And what is a Jew? Someone with a Jewish mother. Not someone that believes in Judaism, someone that was born Jewish by blood.
And I have to give a little side note. Of course, not all Jews are like this. Don't get me wrong, and who am I to decide this? You can disagree with Nick, you can agree with him, but always use your own brain. This is very important, of course. But what he is saying, actually, many people, they agree with this. Like, seriously, like, people are getting tired that our country is almost being held hostage by other people. And again, he is not talking about all Jewish people, but for example, he's talking about a Mark Levin, a Ben Shapiro, a Josh Hammer. The way how they act, like, they're not even hiding it anymore. You can literally just like find the way how they speak towards us, like the way how they actually think about the United States. They want your money, your tax money, my tax money. They literally want this taxpayers' money to go to other countries where they're loyal to. How can you be loyal to the United States if you want to take our money and bring it to other places? That doesn't sound like you're real loyal to the United States, right? And this is just a small example. You have way more examples how these people spoil themselves or explain that they are actually not America first. And this really has to stop. This nation now has had enough. People want America first. That's all they want. They just want to have the best for their own country. Stop supporting foreign wars. Stop supporting foreign countries with all these aid, intelligence, and no matter, I don't even want to know what more. It's actually insane what is happening. And people are finally like waking up a little bit. They're just tired of like being lied to over and over again by people like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro. And finally, people are seeing like or disagreeing with people like that who act like they're America first, who cosplay that they are America first, but they are not. They are not, believe me. They are not loyal to the United States. They are loyal to another country. If shit really hits the fan, they will choose Israel above the United States. And this is actually shocking because they want to live in the United States. Why are you living here then?
So they believe that God chose their tribe, their bloodline, and gave them that land. They're blood and soil nationalists. And they believe that everything is justified to defend and secure this promise. Genocide, war, everything that they put the United States through, and we are all just here to pay for it. All the rest of us, non-chosen, all the rest of us that weren't chosen as our bloodline, weren't given land by God, we're all just here, I guess, to pay for it, to fight for it. If we have a complaint about that, they're sick of hearing about it. Hey, American here, American citizen, American veteran, American taxpayer, I don't want my money. I don't want my sons and brothers and uncles and cousins dying for a war that doesn't concern me. And Mark Levin says, it's off the table when we say it's off the table, and we're sick of hearing about that. It betrays an attitude. And I saw Tucker Carlson went on Dave Smith and he said, where do these people come from? He said, let's talk about how they were raised. I'll tell you how they were raised. They were raised in this milieu. They went to Jewish schools. They went to Jewish community centers. Why do you think they all talk the same? Why do you think Shapiro has a Brooklyn accent? He's from LA. Does Ben Shapiro have an LA accent? Does he? Or does he have like some weird Brooklyn, New York accent? Why do you think that is? It's because of who his parents were and how they talk. It's because of he went to a Jewish school. And this is the attitude that they're inculcated with, which is that they are better than us, that their country matters. Their struggle in Israel matters. This is a cosmic struggle in which they are the main characters. And we are tools and instruments to be used in pursuit of this. And that's the attitude that they're giving in this speech. That's the sense of entitlement, the arrogance, the hubris to say, we're sick of hearing about it. It's only off the table if we say it's off the table. I'm sorry, your country is dependent on us. Israel can't annex the West Bank on their own, not if we said no. But to him, America is his entitlement also. It's not just the land in Israel, it's also the power here. He says, we're taking names. We're looking at who talks to who associates with who. We're going to make our decisions about what? He says, we're going to use our positions. We're going to use our resources. We got to get tough. We got to dig in. For who? Is that for America? Is that for George Washington? Is that for the one people described in Federalist Number 2 by John Jay? Who is that for? Who's we? To what end?
Exactly, and that's who is we. Always when they talk about who is we, who do they mean by that? Americans? Because you're loyal to the United States, right? So I guess you mean we with you. I guess you mean Americans with we, but they don't. Believe me, they don't. And actually, people like this really has to stop because seriously, this is just like creating like so much frustration in our society because again, you and me, we both have to work our ass off. We have to pay so many taxes. We can barely survive because everything is crazy expensive, but we're sending billions away to other countries like it's water, like it's nothing. What did these countries actually do for us? Nothing, right? They cost so much money to maintain, to like support the wars, what they do, because there are some countries somewhere there who constantly start wars. If you ask me, almost every week they start a new war. Why are we dragged into this? I don't want my family members to go to another war where I have nothing to do with. I don't want my taxpayer money to support. Do you know what I want? I want my tax money to build roads here. I don't want my tax money being used to drop bombs in other countries. And people are just waking up for it, and they are sick of this. And this is just a normal opinion because people, they don't want to support foreign wars. What is wrong with that? Nothing, right? But it feels like almost if you say this, that you don't want to... If you don't want your tax money to go to foreign wars, then you are suddenly the bad guy? Excuse me, I want my tax money to be spent on our own country, on our own nation, to build houses here, build roads here, maybe build schools here, build like hospitals here, instead of dropping bombs in other countries, instead of destroying other countries. And am I then a bad guy for saying this? I hope people like agree with me that it's actually insane that you can't criticize the fact that you don't want your tax money to be spent on like foreign wars. We should spend it in our own country. And believe me, that would be way better. And we send so many money abroad. It's actually insane. And then you have people like a Mark Levin that they tell you that you can't criticize that. You cannot have an opinion about it. Really, dude? Okay, so this shows your true colors, right? This actually shows how a Mark Levin is. They don't want you. He is not there for you. He doesn't care about you. As long as you send money to the country where he's loyal to, he is your biggest friend. And if you don't, oh, God forbid, you have a real problem. Insane, right? Insane.
And it's very clear, like I said about Tucker Carlson, when he talks about identity politics, that's what this is. You want to talk about blood and soil nationalism? That's who they are. When you want to talk about racial supremacy, that's what they believe in. You want to talk about identity politics? They are consumed by that. That is reality. And you can like it, you can dislike it, you can embrace it, you can reject it. But the reality is that Jewish identity politics, which is based upon Jewish identity, is what dominates the political landscape right now. It dominates the discussion of all politics, right and left. That's why they're gutting the universities. That's why they're revoking the visas. That's why we're at war in the Middle East. That's why TikTok was acquired by the United States from China. Okay, all these things proceed from that. And you don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it, but that's why it's happening. Because of this strong undercurrent inside the Jewish community, which by virtue of being born doesn't make them a part of it or believing in it, but it certainly makes them tend towards that. That's what Mark Levin is expressing here. And once you read that, I mean, I don't know how you read that statement and don't get on board with the Groypers at that point. If Mark Levin, a radio host, gets in front of the Jewish cabal, the Republican Jewish cabal, and is telling the audience, we, the Republican Jews, are going to use our money and our position. We're going to cancel everyone that disagrees with us. We're not going to talk to you. You're our enemy. We'll destroy you like we destroyed everybody else that disagrees with us. Anybody that complains about what the government is doing should just shut up. You're our enemy. We're going to cancel you. We're sick of hearing about this. We're going to use all our power to silence the conversation. How do you not get it at that point? How do you not understand who and what we're dealing with? And by the way, Mark Levin is just saying the quiet part out loud. That's what Randy Fine believes. That's what Ben Shapiro believes. That's what Andrew Klavan believes. That's what Josh Hammer believes. That's what Laura Loomer believes. That's what all of these people believe. They're all involved in that. They were all literally at the meeting. They're all literally at the summit. What else would you call that other than a declaration of war? Mark Levin said, we don't discuss with you, you're the enemy. And to that end, and it follows, we're taking your name, we're looking at everyone that talks to and associates with you, and we are going to use our money and our positions, and we're going to hurt you.
So they're literally threatening people who disagree with them. That's actually the state we're at now. And this is insane, right? I mean, we live in a country with freedom of speech. Like, you can have opinions about almost everyone, respectfully, of course, but it's actually insane that you have like a very powerful group in our country who is literally telling you have to agree with us, and if you don't agree with us, we will make sure that you get a very hard life. We will make sure that people will not follow you anymore, that people won't listen to you anymore, that you won't receive any money anymore. So it's you, if you are with us, or you're a best friend, and we will make sure that you have a very good life. If you're against us, oh, you dare. If you are against us, then we will make sure that you have a very hard life and you will receive a lot of problems. And this is actually insane, because in that way they can literally change the opinion, because then people are scared to criticize maybe where they are agreeing with, or people disagree with what those people agree with. And by doing that, by threatening these people, they literally change these people's opinions, because people, they don't want to share their opinions anymore because they're scared of being threatened by these groups. And this is actually insane if you think about it, because if we live in a country with freedom of speech, why can I criticize almost everyone and everyone can criticize me? This is all fine. But once I criticize them, I receive many problems and a lot of trouble. That's actually that's not how it should be, right? That's not how it should be. And this really has to stop, because seriously, I think we don't know actually. I think we seriously don't even know how much power some of these small groups have. They can literally like destroy your whole life if you don't agree with them. And let Tucker Carlson be an example, let a Candace Owens be an example, let a Nick Fuentes be an example, and I forget many more. And of course now they are all fine, but they got a lot of trouble for example criticizing those people. And this is actually insane. This should not be like this. Everyone can have an opinion, I feel like, respectfully, of course. That's always very important, respectfully. But it's not that you can't say anything about, like, people take my tax money to spend on foreign wars, and I cannot even say anything about this. Are you for real? Is this the country we live in now? That's not good. That's not good.
We, the Republican pro-Israel Jews and non-Jews, we're going to use all the position and resources we have after we've identified all of our enemies, and we are going to ostracize and cancel, or I don't know, hurt those people. It's literally a declaration of war. And I say this because think about this other conversation that's happening alongside this. I see people like Matt Walsh and others. They're saying this is so unnecessary. Matt Walsh characterizes this as drama. He says there's all this drama going on, all this gossip. Can we get back to fighting the left? Can we unite and fight the left, they say. Tomorrow, Zohran Mamdani is going to become the mayor of New York. And he's a socialist, Muslim, immigrant, hates white people, etc. And Matt Walsh and others are saying we need to unite, because if we let the GOP coalition fracture, then we can never defeat the left in 26 and 28. And if we can't do that, then we're going to be overrun by race communism and diversity and the rest of it. Okay, but how are we supposed to unite after a speech like that? If Mark Levin is telling us criticizing anything Israel is doing makes you the enemy, we cancel our enemies, we take down their names and everyone that talks to them, we use our money and power to destroy them. Matt, help me out here. How do we unite with those people? Matt, you work for Ben Shapiro. That's who you unite with. That's who you work for. That's who signs your paycheck. How do we unite with that guy? How do we unite with Mark Levin? Because they gave the whole game away. America First says we are not going to support genocide in the Middle East. We are not going to go to war in Iran. We're done paying for Israel's wars, fighting Israel's wars, giving cover for Israel to prosecute their wars without any accountability. And by that, I mean Israel is able to have a free hand in these conflicts because we're protecting them. It makes them more aggressive. It makes them emboldened. If America First says we can't do any of that, we're not going to let you annex the West Bank because that alienates our allies. We're not going to let you genocide Gaza because that's hurting our reputation. We're not going to let you provoke Iran because we're on the hook for that. If that is indisputably the America First position, and the Republican Jewish coalition, the Israel First caucus, is saying, we're sick of hearing all of that. We're not discussing that. That's only off the table if we say so. You're our enemy. We do cancel people. We've done it before. We'll do it to you. We're writing your name down. We'll do it again. We'll use our money and power to do it. How do you bring these two sides together? You can't.
And I completely agree with Nick on this one. And if you are America first, you should actually think about this. It's quite insane that all these threats, what they are doing for people who are actually America first. Because if you're America first, you don't want to start foreign wars. These people, it looks like they do. So if you're against that, then they are threatening you. So it literally shows you that if you are America first, you are like, they see you as an enemy. Because they are not America first. I explained this in the beginning because, for example, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, they cosplay like America first, but they are not America first. They're against people who are actually America first. Because people who are America first, excuse me, I said now 50 times the word America first, I know this, but the people who are actually America first, they don't want to start new wars. They don't want to like send billions of dollars to like foreign countries. And these people, the Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiros, the Josh Hammers, they want you to do this. So that literally shows you that America first is completely the opposite of what these people stand for. And that's very important to say because I see some people who also say they are America first. They support a Ben Shapiro, they support a Mark Levin. And I never understand this. This is like weird because it's completely the opposite. But believe me, it's not done yet. I will continue the video. It's very interesting what Nick is going to say.
Spoiler alert, you cannot bridge the gap there because there's a fundamental disagreement here about American sovereignty. These people, and by these people, I don't mean all Jews. I think it's Richard Barris today, who does a podcast with Robert Barnes. He's Jewish, and he hit the nail on the head today. He said, they're calling Steve Bannon an anti-Semite. He said, that's ridiculous. Steve Bannon supports Israel. He says, and watch the video. It was very good. It was very explicit. It sounded like my show. But there's a very clear line now between America first and Israel first. And this fault line runs through the current regional conflict, which is ongoing, which is about to restart in Lebanon, which is about to restart in Iran, which is apparently unofficially restarted in Gaza. For all these people that say we just need to defer the Israel-America first debate until later, we should put a Band-Aid over this and just, stick together and fight the left. Does that sound like a group that we can align with? He said Tucker Carlson is a Nazi Klansman. If you think that Tucker Carlson is a neo-Nazi Ku Klux Klansman, and you want to destroy him and anyone who associates with him, I don't see how we're going to unite to defeat the left. We're on different sides now. If you say that you don't want to hear about, we don't want to support foreign wars anymore, we don't want to support Israel anymore because you think that you're beyond hearing that, you think you control our country to that extent, we're not uniting with those people. We can't. And don't blame us. Because, by the way, here's the difference between Israel first and America first. It's our country. We're right. Israel first might have a claim in Israel. Israel first might have a claim if Israel had sovereignty over America, but they don't. They're wrong. We're right.
Spot on, like Nick is on point. And again, like, how can you be America first and how can you then disagree with this? I never understand this because the people who are actually America first, they should agree with this, or like always use your own brain. I said this before, but you can disagree with Nick, you can agree with him, but you can't call this man a liar. He's actually such a smart man. The way how he talks is also like very smart, very wise. And again, Nick Fuentes for president. I know he is still too young, but I hope one day he will become our president and many of these problems will be solved. Because believe me, those are very big problems for our country and not many people actually know about this. So it's kind of good that people talk about this now. I'm happy people talk about this now. And I'm also very curious about your opinion. Like, do you agree with Nick? Do you disagree with Nick? Are you America first? Because I see many people in the comments, they're actually America first. Very good to see. We're creating now a group on this channel, America First people. Very happy to see that. And yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you really like this video, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Last but not least, guys, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!